Hey there, everybody. I hope you guys are having a terrific Saturday. It is November the 2nd. Can you believe it? It just seems like, I've talked all this year about the way that time is just flying by. And, my mom says, as you get older, it flies by even quicker, which is this is disturbing. I don't want to hear that. And when she says something funny like that, I always say, "Thanks, Mom, for cheering me up." I never call her Mom. She's Mama. But when she says something like that, or, yeah, well, welcome to getting older, I'm saying, "Thanks, Mom. I really needed to hear that today." Today we are making chippies. It is a bit nippy outside. We had a really cold evening, and it's going to be colder for the next 3 days. Hang on. I'm drinking some tea out of my Pineapple Willie's little... when my niece was 20, we took her to Pineapple Willie's down in Panama City, Florida, and I don't drink out of plastic stuff, but we had virgin pina coladas, which she loved, and it was just such a fun experience that I brought the cup back, and, when I dragged that cup out, I think about her and all the fun that we had. I mean, how many 20-year-olds want to go to Panama City Beach with their auntie and their mama? But that's our girl. I'm going to make some chippies. We'll talk a little bit about the weather. We'll talk about some stuff that I have in the works. I hope all of you guys are doing great today. As you can see, I'm not getting out my Chippy box. These are Chippy bits from processing greeting cards. I processed some paper. I processed some scraps. It's just been, yesterday, I just spent a day processing, and I also had a lot of errands to run. I had to go to the market and to the bank and grocery store and all that stuff. So I did not get any journals made yesterday, which is okay because I've been working super hard on the journals, and sometimes you just got to take a little break, and that's kind of what I was doing yesterday, trying to get just basically housework done and working for the folks that I work for online. The farm is closed, and we had a good season. We had kind of an iffy strawberry season just because we had a lot of rain, and that we had too much rain, and that kind of it always disrupts the growing cycle when you have too much of something or not enough of something, right? I mean, we kind of all know how that little trick goes. I thought I'd put that up there, but I think I'm going to put it down here since it will be right side up, and we do like to do right side up when possible. These were from a greeting card. So... and this is the Ida collection of greeting cards. I'm standing up to make sure I'm in frame. So yesterday was just a busy day. The evening before, I got to tell you guys this, we had some crazy storms. We were under tornado warnings, so we kind of battened down the hatches. We never did get anything, and it was Thursday night, trick-or-treat. We only had 6 trick-or-treaters, which was kind of... Chris loves Halloween, so do I. But Chris, takes it to a whole new level because he usually decorates the yard, and he does all kinds of things with lights, and we have these magic cauldrons. We do music. He would usually dress up and sit in the yard. We have tombstones. We have skeletons. We have stuff that we have these eyeballs that he puts in the bushes, and they shake when the kids get close. But, we had 5 trick-or-treaters, and it was kind of discouraging, and then with the you know, with the storm watch that we had. I mean, you almost didn't want kids to be out. But I think a lot of people are choosing to do the trunk or treat thing. And I mean, that's cool, right? I mean, it's very nice to have that, you know, to kind of have that option for children. But, you know, I miss seeing little kids. And we have so many little kids in the neighborhood now. But, you know, oh well. That's how it goes. So, weather. We were kind of talking about the weather. Like Thursday, it was 82, and then that storm front came through, and it was 40. It just like dropped like 40 degrees in several hours. It just like plummeted. And so, you know, now we're thinking about, I mean, we have to do our winterizing, which we're going to work on that probably tomorrow. Chris had a show last night, and it was a late show. And he's watching F1 today, which he so loves F1. So and I'm doing this. And then me and I went out and walked in the yard a little bit. We wanted to see where walked in the yard, walked the neighborhood. Last week, I went out of the house, you know, like walked out my door. And all my neighbors are standing, you know, in the field right across, well, not right across. So we live here in the field. It's like right here, you know, it's steps away. And I was like, huh. There were firemen, there were police cars, there was an ambulance, there were rescue vehicles, and I thought, oh my goodness, we have a neighbor who has heart problems. And I thought, oh no, you know, was my first thought that, you know, that something had happened to our neighbor. You guys might wonder why I'm putting these blocks on our chippies, and it's because usually I add words. Now I don't have words in this stack, and like I said, I'm not going to get out my chippy box. We're just going to work with what we have here, and I'll usually put a word, you know, right here, just in case you're new to chippies. And chippies are just, you know, little mini mixed media pieces that I turn into, you know, I might use them for journal tabs. I might use them for my planner. You know, I might just put double stick tape on them and use them in a planner. I use them for Happy Mail. I use them as journal prompts. They're just, you know, good for everything. Okay, so there's all this stuff going on down the block. And I walked down there, and I was on my way to a cat sitting gig, so, you know, I couldn't hang out. I was like, what is going on? And my neighbor says, there's a puppy down a well. And it was so sad. So one of the new people who moved in have a puppy. And you have to be careful when you're walking in the field up there, because it's an old Civil War hill. You know, people find belt buckles and stuff like that up there. People are constantly asking the owner of the property if they could come and do their what do you call that thing? What is it called? A metal detector thing. Same thing we get down at the farm a lot. People want to come and look for stuff, you know, Civil War buffs. So what ended up happening, you guys, is the well, there are a lot of holes in the field, okay? You have to be careful where you're stepping, because trees have come down, you know, and you've got that big, soft hole. you know, that you don't dare step upon. Well, this kid stepped upon it, and the dog dropped in there. The well, you guys, was like 35 feet deep. And this little puppy is stuck in the well, and it's so sad. But the cool thing is the firemen, you know, they were so dedicated and so sweet to the puppy. And so somebody was recording it, the Henrico fire department, I think, was actually recording the whole thing and showed the puppy being lifted out of the well, which was so sweet. But they, the firemen, when I was there, said, I see him. He's just waiting on somebody to come get him, which was so cute. You know, he was just kind of hanging out, waiting on whatever was going to happen. So they did like this, you know, pulley sort of thing, right? And they lowered a fireman down into the hole. And, you know, he was able to get the dog, but he was like, does that dog bite? And the owner said no. And the dog was so teeny tiny that, you know, if it bit you, it probably wouldn't do anything to you anyway. It was just wild. I could not stay and watch, even though, you know, you kind of wanted to, but you kind of didn't want to because you didn't know what the outcome was going to be. It's kind of scary. So I'm kind of, I was going to give myself about 15 minutes to run through some chippies. So that was the big, you know, that was the big news, right, for the hill, as we call it. Richmond is comprised of hills. So you have Marion Hill, Church Hill. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I can name. But I think there's 7. There's a brewery here called Seven Hills Brewery. So maybe they would know the 7. Church Hill, Marion Hill, that's where I live. This is where Chief Powhatan had one of his settlements, enclave, village, whatever you want to call it. So yes, Pocahontas probably did play in my yard, which I love, being a little Indian girl myself. And then I went down to see the kitties. The kitties are good. Their mommy and daddy came home right about the end of watching the kitties. They were so itchy to walk down the hall, but I did not dare let them walk down the hall because they're young kitties. You know, don't know what might have happened if I let them out, so I didn't. But I told my cat sitting client, I'm like, you know, if you want to get a leash, and you know, I'll be happy to like walk them just down the hall. You know, not both at the same time, because I don't think that would go well. I'm remembering that my friend Sarah walks her cat. And I thought, you know, that would be fun, because my friends were gone for a long time, man. They were gone for a month. And that's a long time to, you know, to be away from your animal. Okay, guys. Let's finish up this little chippy thing. So this is what I got done just in the last few minutes while I was chit-chatting to you guys. So we were able to do these. I love this. I think it's an armadillo, but I'm not quite sure. And this. I like this size. This size fits in my planner really well. And we did this, and we did this. So in just a few minutes a day, you guys, you know, if you want to do a chippy project, a chippy journey, you can do something like this, and it just comes together super quickly. It is a lot of fun. It's a wonderful way to bookend a day. It's a wonderful way to get a jump start on your art day. It's a wonderful warm up. It's a great cool down. So try some chippies today. Chime in below and let me know if you guys like to play with chippies and what you use them for. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.